mission in Inter-America, some Ghanaians who learned the Sabbath message from a fisherman and later met their first Adventist missionaries, and the exotic country of Tunisia coming up next. Hello and welcome to Mission 360. I'm Gary Krause. Today's program is coming to you from the city of Tunis in Tunisia, and behind me you can see the city, and you can possibly even hear some of the calls to prayer from mosques across the city because it's Friday afternoon here. And I'm standing in Belvedere Park, which was designed in 1892 by the chief gardener of the city of Paris. And he envisaged cool groves, acres of beautiful lawns, trees, and today it's still the city's largest park. And when you look at the trees here and the way that they filter the environment for the people, it's quite a nice metaphor for the role of the church to be an influence of beauty and hope and healing in the community. And on today's program, we're going to be looking at the influence of men and women who are sharing God's love all around the world. First up, let's travel to Inter-America.
Welcome to the Inter-American region, a place of friendly people and beautiful landscapes. With many languages, cultures, and isolated islands, sharing the Adventist message here can be a challenge. But God is working miraculously to reach the hearts of these people. Lying in the southeast Caribbean Sea is the island of Trinidad. In a land full of breathtaking beaches and lush green mountains, you'll find rich cultures and a variety of people. There are some 66,000 Seventh-day Adventists out of Trinidad and Tobago's 1.5 million people. Along with 160 organized churches, Adventists operate a university in a community that has members from all major world religions, making this place a perfect opportunity for cultural and religious exchange. Only 1 out of every 3 students at the University of the Southern Caribbean is Adventist. The diversity on campus shows the level of respect people from other religions and worldviews have for this university. Currently, the university lacks a church for spiritual and community events. There are plans to construct a church on campus. The new sanctuary will hold 1,700 people and house a center of influence that aims to engage people in cross-cultural mission, evangelism, and urban ministry.
The church at USC is the catalyst for that transformation. It is a light to the campus, but also a light to the community. It is more than just a church. It is a community mission center where we meet the needs of the community by literacy classes, other welfare programs, healthy cooking classes, and many have come to know Jesus Christ because of these ministries.
From this center, local Adventists will survey the neighboring community and strive to meet the people's needs. When Jesus walked the earth, he mingled with people, showed sympathy toward their needs, and by serving, earned their confidence. Today, we are called to do the same throughout Inter-America and the world. Puerto Rico is known as the Pearl of the Caribbean Sea because of the water's beautiful color and abundant tropical nature. Despite its small size, almost 4 million people live here, of whom 33,000 are Adventists. Across the island, you will find more than 300 Seventh-day Adventist churches, where dedicated members work hard to share Jesus. Antillean University is the only Adventist university on the island. Students here represent 22 countries. But on this campus, there is no Adventist church building. There is great potential for church growth around this campus, and the faculty makes plans to construct a sanctuary for worship and mission activities. The new church is a necessity because it will serve as a spiritual foundation for both the students and the local community. Nearly half of the students here come from non-Adventist families. University leaders see a lot of potential for a center of influence operated from inside this church. Please pray for these universities in Puerto Rico and Trinidad and Tobago, as they each build God a house and grow His worldwide family of believers. There are many people on these islands in need of hope.
My guest is a student, but he's not just involved in his studies, he's also involved in making a difference in the community. Thanks so much for joining us. Tell me, what are the sorts of things that you are doing besides your study in the community?
When I just came here, I met a lot of nice people who would open to talk, who were very friendly with me. And when I started to talk to them, I saw from the beginning that the health issue here is the big issue.
Okay.
The first place when they invite to talk is the cafe full of cigarettes and full of coffee in there. So instead of that, I invited them to my place. We were talking together, and then I saw what we could do else helping this country. So we went to some orphanages together with them, and we were helping kids there just to have this gladness, because they have a lack of attention without parents. And for me it was something really touchable, because these people really love to help their kids. So the places when we were going, there were some orphanages. And then
So when you went to the orphanages, you talked to the children, sing to them? What did you do?
in the orphanages, you just come and you meet these kids who just want to hug you first, just want to be with you, talk to you. And they talk in their own language, and sometimes you don't understand,
Right.
but you feel close to them.
Right, lovely. Yeah.
Also, after that, I saw that we can do it something more organized than only go in orphanages time to time. So the idea came to organize a health club where we can put together different directions, different departments, where we can serve, where we can promote health lifestyle, when we can mingle together and help this community.
Wonderful. So at the health club, what do you do?
So mainly in the health club we have 4 different directions. The first is the sport. In the sport we are doing some outdoor exercises together. We are playing soccer together. Another direction is the cooking class and the birthday celebration. We mingle together once a month, and we have this activity when we can share our recipes, when we can celebrate the birthday of each member of the club, when we can have fun together, we can discuss some topics together. Also, the direction of the serving department direction, when we can go to the nursing houses, orphanages. Recently we went to the nursing house where we met a lot of people who are bound in there without any attention.
Now when you say the nursing house, this is for older people?
For older people.
Okay.
Right. So when we came there, we saw sadness in their faces and their eyes. But we started to sing songs, and we saw that they started to laugh, to smile with us. And then for whom couldn't come to the main room, to the hall, we came to their rooms and we shared some food with them, sing to them there, and it was a really precious moment.
Beautiful. So I like this as a health club which involves service to others, because in serving others we bring joy to ourselves.
Right.
Wonderful, yeah. Now you involve young people from the community in this?
Yes, the young people who are friends of mine, instead of just sitting in the cafe, the idea was to go and to do something else for this community. So the young people who don't have work and who have work, we mingle together on the weekends sometimes, to orphanages or nursing houses we're going to on the weekends, so everybody can join there.
Wonderful. Now, you talked about smoking. This is one of the big health problems where you're working. The cafes don't have any non-smoking signs up.
In this country, it's really hard to find a place when the cafe is not smoking.
Right.
Please.
So what sort of things are you doing to help people's health?
Last year we had an exhibition here. We invited some foreigners to make an exhibition about quitting smoking program. So it was a week program where we invited people from the community who wanted to quit the smoking, and the doctors, they were telling some lectures, and also we had some different exhibitions where we could measure the pressure, the blood pressure, another issue with health, and people could see that if they wanted to quit, there is a way, and what they need to do to follow this way.
Wonderful. Now, as you mingle, as you get involved in helping people with their health, as you involve them in service, do you ever have an opportunity to talk about spiritual things?
As I mentioned, on the meetings, when we celebrate birthdays, always we have a discussion about general topics like friendship, love, relationship. What does that mean for you? And I remember one day I had a friend of mine, and we already discussed about some religious issues, and she was against Bible from the beginning, but after that I was asking, what does it mean friendship for you? Can God be a friend for us? And some people here, almost all of them, they said no, it's impossible to have a God as a friend. But this lady, after their several time of discussing about Bible, she said, you can talk about yourself, but for me, God can be my friend.
Wonderful.
And after that, after several meetings, one friend of ours, Adventist, on this meeting, invited her to the church. And since she came to the church, pastor invited her to give a Bible study. And when she was learning Bible, she decided to follow Christ.
Wonderful. Thank you so much for sharing with us today. Tremendous opportunities for service in the communities where we live. We'll be talking more about Adventist mission right after this break. Welcome back to Tunisia. I'm standing in the city of Sidi Bou Said. It's a popular tourist destination. It's a beautiful location beside the seaside, and also it has these wonderful blue and white buildings. It's also more famous recently because it was the launching place for what became known as the Arab Spring at the end of 2010. Next up, we travel to West Africa.
Thanks, Gary. Welcome to West Africa. Today I have with me Pastor Fred Ajeba, who is one of our leaders here in this region of the world. And I want to know, Pastor Fred, what exactly do you do here?
Yeah, I'm the Communication and Global Mission Director for the Northern Ghana Union Mission.
Ah, so you're from Ghana.
Yes, I'm from Ghana.
Are you from which part of Ghana?
I'm from the southern part of Ghana, but I work in the northern part of Ghana.
Okay, so you have worked in a lot of areas around Ghana. You've been a pastor.
You're right.
What else have you done?
I have been a pastor all my life.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
And so in Ghana, there is a region that I think you're familiar with.
Oh, yes.
It's the Kumasi region, right?
Yes.
Do we have a lot of church members in that area?
We have so many members in Kumasi. In fact, every 5 people you meet, 3 of them should be Adventists in
Wow.
Kumasi.
So it's really full of Adventists. But when we first started there, the Adventist message first started there, how did it originally become, the seeds got planted and then growing?
Right. We believe the church in Ghana was miraculously planted by God himself. Because it was just a tract that was dropped at the seashore. Somebody picked it at the shore. And
some publishing tracts?
that's all it. Somebody picked it at the shore, read it, and he saw, oh, this is the Sabbath. And they started keeping the Sabbath with his family.
So just one person?
One person, a fisherman. Later he called from abroad the missionaries. They came and they helped the church to start growing. But the church didn't do well at the coast. It traveled all the way to hinterland, where the Ashantis, the Akans, typically were also worshiping on the 7th day.
So you're saying from the coast, a tract and a fisherman,
Yes.
but it traveled from there into the interior.
Into the interior.
And that's where the story gets more interesting.
That is it. And so the Akans already had a lot of things that fell in the parameters of the Seventh-day Adventist Church,
Such as
worshiping on the 7th day.
So this group, Ashanti,
Yes.
were already worshiping on the Sabbath.
On the Sabbath. They had the 7th day, they were worshiping on the 7th day. In fact, they called the God of Sabbath, referring to the God of heaven.
So they already had this ritually in their
In the culture.
local tradition.
Oh, that is it.
That's fascinating. Now,
Yes.
so did it start growing then, the church did among this group?
Yeah, it started growing among the people because in the first place, the people were worshiping God on the Saturday.
Already.
And then on Saturday, the head of the house will call the family. They come together and they have a 3-fork tree. On the 3-fork tree, they put a pot of water. Then they have the hyssop. You know hyssop?
Yep, the
In
hyssop.
the book of
Sure.
Psalms.
Yeah.
Then you drop the hyssop and then he will sanctify the people on the Sabbath morning.
It sounds biblical.
That is it. And that same day, nobody goes anywhere. In fact, they call it Memenenda Dapa. It means it is a good day. Dapa,
Wow.
good day.
So the Sabbath has always been a
Then-
good day
Yes.
in this area.
And in the area, they know God as Nyame Kwame, the God of Saturday.
Wonderful.
Along the line, the white man came with his religion. And then they turned it from Saturday, the day of worship, from Saturday to Sunday. And so they refer to the white man as Kwesi Broni. Kwesi Broni, Broni is white man, and Kwesi is Sunday. So because he brought Sunday, they call him Kwesi Broni. But all we know is that our God is a God of Saturday. And so he's Kwame.
What a wonderful
That is
story.
it.
So they even have a word for the people who changed the day, kind of
Yes.
shifted. And it's a fascinating story. From Kumasi and the people there, how did the gospel spread outside of this main people group?
Kumasi was used as an epicenter for the message.
Okay.
And so people who came to live in Kumasi, as they moved to other parts of the region, they also went with it. And if you moved a little to the bonus, where we have the Brona Halfos, they also accepted the message so well. You move a little further, like going to the north, we have what the people we call the Mos. They also picked the message from Kumasi and then they sent it there.
So different people groups.
Different people groups, as they move with the message.
So were missionaries kind of sent out from Kumasi
Yes, kind of.
to carry the message to these other groups?
Missionaries who volunteered.
Ah.
They just volunteered, they were not paid, but they did a lot of job.
Now, is there still people groups in Ghana who have not known the fullness of the message that we have?
Oh yes, a number of them. And even in Kumasi, where the message has so much spread, we still have people groups who have not been reached.
So, global mission pioneers, of course, are being sent to some of these unreached areas.
That is
Do you have anything you could tell our audience, tell me, about how the global mission pioneers are taking the message to these unreached areas.
Yes, the global mission pioneers now are working with the people, and the best they do is one-on-one. They meet them in their homes, they have Bible studies with them, they have other outreach interventions by which they can attract the people so that they can work with them and then send a message to them too.
Pastor Abijah, I am so delighted to have known this miraculous story and how the people of Ghana have been faithful in continuing to carry the message, sending pioneers, and worshiping, of course, on the Sabbath. Thank you for your time today.
Thank you too.
As we go back to Gary, I just want to say there are people all over this world who have waited for that seed of the gospel to be planted. Let's keep looking for them and sharing the gospel faithfully wherever we can go. Back to you, Gary.
Next up, we travel from Tunisia to a very different part of the world, Inter-America.
The Southeast Hospital, located on the plains of Villahermosa, is one of 3 Adventist hospitals in Mexico. It sits in a prime location where Adventists have a chance to interact with the needy community. The people of this region suffer from health problems like diabetes, dengue fever, and obesity, and this hospital serves as a refuge for the sick and afflicted. Medical work began here in 1959 when missionaries set up a small clinic to provide basic health care to those in need. Doctors constantly volunteered time to serve the people. Materials such as syringes, needles, and medicine were donated by the city's pharmacies. As people began to rely on the Adventist missionaries' medical care, the clinic expanded to become one of the most reputable hospitals in the region, ministering to the needs of a surrounding population of more than 2 million people. The Southeast Hospital operates with more than 30 beds and 200 employees, and has a laboratory, an emergency room, a blood bank, and an intensive care unit. On average, the hospital staff sees 11,000 people every year. Many who arrive here expect physical healing, but they receive much more as the staff takes this opportunity to share Jesus' love in action.
El propósito es saber en realidad cómo está la persona.
Our purpose is to evaluate each person, not only the physical and emotional aspects, but also spiritual. Many of our patients tell us, "Oh, I'm not so good, but thanks to God, I can still walk." Others do not mention God at all. This helps us see where people are and know how we can help them. When they leave here, they can bear in mind that God is with them, that they have hope, and that they come out relieved, not only physically, but also spiritually by God's word.
In Adventist hospitals around the world, spiritual care is an important component toward physical and mental recovery. At the age of 15, Michelle arrived at the hospital after hitting her head when she fell from a horse. It was a life and death situation. Dolly, her mother, prepared for the worst. Fortunately, Michelle received holistic care as the medical staff healed and comforted her.
People would come to me and say that God was with me and that they were praying for us. This is the first place I have seen this level of attention in dealing with people. Everyone is very kind. I realized here that the staff works for God and not for people. I had already heard that, but now I experienced it.
It was a tough time. For weeks, Michelle was hospitalized. So Pastor Eric, the hospital chaplain, would visit them to talk and pray. More than 500 people were touched by Michelle's situation, and they formed a prayer chain. As they prayed, little by little, Michelle's life was impacted by the prayers of the doctors and nurses. This closeness spoke deeply to Michelle's and Dolly's hearts. As a result, today they testify about the power of prayer.
I'd pray, "Lord, my trust is in you, and I am yours. We will overcome. This mountain will be moved, and there will be no permanent damage."
In an inexplicable way, Michelle's condition stabilized, and she finally recovered. In medical institutions like Southeast Hospital, people are reached with health, healing, and hope. Just as Jesus healed the whole person, today faithful medical missionaries do the same through dedicated, God-centered care. The Southeast Hospital needs to expand to make room for more patients and to offer more treatment options. there is also a desire to build an urban center of influence in Villahermosa. This center will offer a place for the entire community to receive medical care and health training. Please pray for the hospital, the staff, and future plans. They face many challenges while operating in this small, outdated space. And also remember to pray for the patients whose lives will be touched by the hospital staff. Thank you for your support of Adventist medical mission work.
Well, I hope that you've enjoyed today's 360-degree view of mission around the world. But more than that, I hope that you've been challenged, and I hope that you've been inspired by what you've seen and heard. And I want to thank you so much for being part of our Adventist mission team. And I consider you part of our Adventist mission team because I know that you pray for mission. I know that you're involved in mission, and that your support financially makes a tremendous difference. Around the world today, we see many mission challenges, but we also see the way that God is working, and we see how people from Africa to Asia to the Middle East are hungry for the peace and joy that can only come through Jesus Christ. Before we go, I'd like to give you a small free offer. It's an Adventist mission pen. So every time you write something, you write a letter, you write a list of things to do for the day, you will be reminded of the importance of mission. Well, for Adventist Mission, I'm Gary Krause, and I hope that you can join me next time right here on Mission 360.